Welcome to this video on matrices, and today's video is going to be an introduction to matrices. So what is a matrice or a matrix? Matrices is the plural. So a matrix is just an array of elements which are usually numbers set out in brackets. So an example of a matrice would be like this: 2 1 3 0. That's a matrice. That's a 2 by 2 matrice. And then let's go this one. So this is a 2 by 2 matrice. This is a 2 by 3 matrice. And we generally refer to it as the number of rows times the number of columns. So the number of rows, 2, and the number of columns, 3. Now there's some kind of terms loosely used, but not to really be worried about. So square matrix is like this: a 2 by 2 matrix, or a 3 by 3 matrix, like this. These are square matrix or square matrices. It's basically when you've got the same number of rows as the same number of columns. Then you've got a zero matrix where all the elements are 0. And then you've got the identity matrix. The identity matrix is quite important. I'll actually get on to that at some point, but for now just know that it's quite important. So this one is called the identity, and you put a little I and 2, and the identity like I and 3 will look like this. And then you've got like I4, I5, and IK, okay, for the general term, where K is the number of rows and columns. Okay, now the identity matrix, no, I don't want to get into too much about that right now. We will meet it very soon, but just know that it is quite important. So what are we doing in this video? Well, since it's an introduction, we're going to look at, I'm going to give you questions on what the matrice is called. We're going to look at adding and subtracting matrices, and we're going to look at multiplying by a scalar. So let's have a look at a few examples on that. So first thing, let's look at what they're called. So as I said, it is the number of rows times the number of columns. So a square matrix like number 1 is nice and easy because there's 2 rows and 2 columns. Number 2, there's 1 row and 3 columns. So it's a 1 by 3. Number 3, there's 2 rows and 1 column. So it's 2 by 1. And finally, number 4, there's 1, 2, 3 rows and 2 columns. So it's a 3 by 2. Now, knowing what size they are, like what this is, like 2 by 2, 1 by 3, and so on, will come in useful for when we are multiplying them in the next video. Okay, but for now, it's just about knowing what each one's called. Next, we're going to look at adding and subtracting matrix or matrices. So you can add and subtract matrices, but only when they're exactly the same size. So here we have two matrices, two matrices that are 2 by 2s. So they're exactly the same size, and we're going to add them. Now, how I add them, I add the corresponding elements. So this 3 will add with this 5 and become 8. This 4 will add with this -3 and become 1. This -1 and this 6 add together and become 5. And this 0 and 4 add together and become 4. Okay, it's very straightforward. And then take away is the same, where this element will take away this element. So 1 take away 2 is -1. I'll go along the top. 3 take away 1 is 2. 4 take away 6 is -2. And then going along the bottom, -2 take away 1 is -3. -6 take away -5, so it becomes -6 plus 5. -1 and 1 take away 0, 1. Okay, and that's how we add or subtract matrices. They have to be exactly the same size. And finally, we move on to scalar. Now, matrices are often denoted by capital bold letters like A, B, also using M for matrix. Okay, so in this case, we're going to do 3A. So that's 3 multiplied by matrix A, or 3 multiplied by 2, 1, 0, 3. Okay, now this is just 3 times every element, so we get 6, 3, 0, 9. Okay, nice and, well, straightforward. You could also have things like a half, B. So that is a half times matrix B, which is a half, and 2. Very, very straightforward. Okay, and then, you know, can I do this? So A plus B. No, they're not the same size, so cannot add them. Okay, so that's just the introduction to matrices. I'll give you a few questions on these just to try yourself and go through the answers at the end of the video. But while I've got your attention, if you found this video useful, hit like, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and let's get into it. So here are 3 quick and straightforward questions. Pause the video to have a go, and the answers are at the end of the video. So this first one is 1 row and 3 columns, so 1 by 3. The second one is 4 rows, 1 column. This third one, see, is 2 rows and 3 columns, and this fourth one is 1 row and 1 column. So part A is A plus B. 6 minus 5 minus 3. So adding them, we've got 3, 5, minus 1 and 0. Now B is B minus C. So that's 1 minus 0 is 1, 6 minus 5 is 1, minus 5 minus 6 is minus 5 plus 6 is 1, and minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4. Now I could do the adding first to get a single matrix and then take it away, or I could do it all in one go. So 1 plus 0 is 1, minus 2 is minus 1. 6 plus 5 is 11, minus 1 is 10. Minus 5 plus minus 6 is minus 11, plus 4 is minus 7. Minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2, minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. And there we have question 2. And finally, question 3. So 2a, so 2 times that, so we've got 4 and 2. B is 1/3, 0 minus 6, so it's 0 minus 2. C is 10c, so 10 times 2, 0, 3, and that is 20, 0, 30. And then part D is minus a, so it's minus 2 minus 1. And there we have it, just the introduction to matrices. So in the next video we'll be looking at matrix multiplication, and then in subsequent videos we'll be looking at determinants, inverting a matrice, and so on. So stay tuned for the next few videos on matrices.